get to see her much after middle school, and only after she passed away did I helped go through her stuff with my uncle, and I found all these books and stuff, or her notebooks, and it was only then that I realized that I had a lot in common with my grandmother. Like we're both very, like, a lot of the same quirks. I too had notebooks where I cut and paste things from magazines, and I had like collections of things, and she's very much into gardening and cooking and all that stuff, which I later on became really into. So yeah, genetics are very strong. I think I turned out a lot like my grandmother, or maybe just grandmothers in general. Maybe I'm just a big old granny. You don't actually have to mix it with the flour and then put it in. It doesn't make any difference. Agreed. Otherwise, it'll be way too hard to mix with the sugar. Yeah, I think so too. We could use, I think we're going to use the KitchenAid mixer, right? I don't like using it all the time because it is big and clunky. But I think for this, we'll use the KitchenAid mixer just to make sure everything gets mixed properly. All right, so we got 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of shortening, which I think, yeah, if I had time to incubate them, I would, but I think we don't have time to incubate them, so I'm going to put them in the microwave on the defrost setting. I'm not trying to melt them, I'm just trying to make them less hard. We'll cut them up while we're at it as well. And then 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Okay, we'll use the soy sauce dishes for that. Grandmas, if you're watching, I apologize. I'm going to mess up this recipe so bad. The other thing I remember about my grandmother is she always used margarine for everything. And I grew up thinking like that was normal. And then now that I'm older, I'm like, I don't eat margarine. No shade on people who do, but I just don't like margarine. It's not for me. But I remember she always used it. Actually, I don't remember a ton of her cooking. But I do remember she was always in the kitchen. And I remember she was a badass. She was tough too. Very independent woman. That was her. She gave me a bunch of advice when I was in college. I think it was one of the last conversations I had with her before she got I saw her, she was fine, and then like a year passed, and then she suddenly got a brain tumor and died within a month. And the last conversation I had with her, I was just checking in to see how she was and updating her on how things were going in college and whatnot. And she gave me all this like very feminist, awesome, like dating advice and shit. It was so hilarious to get dating advice from your grandma. But yeah, she was right about a lot of things. I just cut the butter in smaller cubes and throw it in the mixer to soften it before adding the sugar. We'll do that too. I feel like it's just